What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Midwest Rest. I'm here with my boy, Justin Kluver.
What's up?
For those of you that don't know, Justin, he's involved with a lot of bands around here. He plays in the Lawnmower Dogs.
Yep.
Plays in Planetary Mindset.
Yep.
He's got his own solo acoustic stuff.
Yep.
And also, you might see him at Yonda's Music. He's the manager there. What's up, Justin?
Oh, just chilling, bro. Thanks for having me on the show, Luis.
For sure, man. For sure.
So, this is Midwest Rest, right? I'm ready to rest it up.
I guess to start off, I gave you a little intro there, but go a little bit more in detail. Where are you from? How long you've been in music? And just give a little background, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so I consider myself to be from Kearney. Now, I've lived here as long, really, as I've lived anywhere. So I moved to Kearney in 2010 for college. So before that, I lived in Plainview and Nebraska. Most of you people don't probably know where that is, but it's up north of Norfolk, kind of in the middle of nowhere, northeast part of the state. And before that, I was actually born in Hastings and lived there for a while before I moved to Plainview. So kind of have always had a tie. Most of my families are from the Tri-City area and stuff like that, or most of my family is from the Tri-City area on both my parents' sides. So, but I lived in Plainview for 10 years.
And I grew up in my high school there and everything.
Yep. Yeah. So I moved there when I was 7, and moved out when I was it was right after I turned 7. I moved out when I was 18, so it was 10, 11 years that I lived there. And now I've been in Kearney for 10 years, so I've lived here, like I said, just about as long as I've lived anywhere.
It's a second hometown, pretty much.
So, yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I really like it here, so when people ask me where I'm from, I say, I'm from Kearney, so, which is cool, because when I say I'm from Plainview, people are like, you're from what now? So that works out good. But yeah, so I came here for school.
Yeah.
Went to UNK and got my degree in music business. Graduated in 2015 and did my internship at Yonda's that spring of 15. Never really planned on working there long term, but had some good opportunities, and that's where I am now, and we'll just see where the rest of life takes me. So that's what's going on. So Luis obviously works at Yonda's with me as well, so he gets to listen to me tell him to do stuff all day.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from this guy. I mean, not just, at my job, but about the music business and just music in general. So, yeah, that's why I thought you'd be a great person to have on here.
Well, yeah, again, thanks for having me. So, when I was in college, I guess we'll just keep going with the backstory here. When I was in college, I guess I'll go further back. We'll go deeper back, farther, and then all the way back.
The roots.
At first, it was only darkness, and then suddenly, a burst of light. Okay, not that far back. My first band, so when I started playing guitar when I was 14. I did drums in school, and my dad played in a band, and he played bass and he played guitar, way back in the day, in the 60s. And when I was 14, I'd been asking for a drum set for a couple years, and because he had already bought me a drum set, and he bought me a First Act one that was not good. So I was
a real one.
Still asking for a drum kit.
Yeah.
And he gave me a guitar and an Ibanez acoustic. And turns out my folks were divorced, and I brought it home, and my mom said, "Why do you have my guitar?"
Oh.
I was like, "No, it's my guitar. Dad gave it to me." Oh. And she was like, "No, that's my guitar. He stole it when we got divorced." And I was like, "Cool. Well, it's my guitar now, so..." That's the history of me starting to play the guitar. So, shortly after that, and this is super embarrassing, and thank the Lord Almighty that the internet YouTube wasn't a thing back in 2006. At least not that I was aware of. Maybe it was, and that just wasn't a big thing. Yeah. But I don't know the history of YouTube. I Google it, but whatever. So don't hate me if I'm wrong about that. But
I'm sure somebody will.
I didn't know that YouTube was a thing back then, so I'm thankful for that. I, at 14 3/4 years old, recorded a little 4-track EP of my own original music. actually at a place in Hastings. I can't remember the guy's name. It's been so long. As someone that my dad knew and was associated with, but went down and recorded like 4 songs that I had written, and they're
like
just
in an
really,
actual studio.
yeah, oh yeah,
What? Oh man, okay.
really
I thought you were gonna say, like, by yourself. You
No.
recorded or something.
I went to like a studio and like recorded the songs. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember the names. I mean, they're all really bad. Like, Cared Too Much and stupid stuff like that. I mean, stuff that a 14-year-old would think is, relevant. And I like sold CDs to my friends in high school. So any high school homies that happen to hear this, you remember.
Like, I still got that.
If you have the CD, burn it. Burn it.
Put it
Not
on
burn it
YouTube.
on multiple discs.
Put it on YouTube.
Burn it in a fire. And so then when I was 15, shout out to my buddy Eric Berg, who used to live with me here in Kearney. We've been homies for a long time, and he had some camera equipment, and we shot like the jankiest music video for one of the songs that was on my CD. And like I was like 15, like I wasn't even quite 15 because I didn't have my learner's permit yet. And I was like driving his truck down a dirt road, and there was like snow in the ditches and stuff.
Oh man!
And he was like, "Well, yeah, go drive through that ditch." And like I'd never driven through a ditch full of snow. I'd never driven before.
Yeah.
Other
Like
than on my
14.
dad's lap, and totally just like straight, like when you do that, you drive through at an angle. And I like drove straight, like 90 degrees into the flipping ditch, and we were stuck.
Oh man!
So yeah, Bergie style over there shot me this little video, and it's just like I still have that DVD in my house.
Yes.
And only the most important people in my life get to see it, because
That's
I don't
fair.
even think my wife has seen it. It's bad.
What?
It's so
She hasn't?
bad. I don't think so.
Dude.
Maybe she has. Maybe I got drunk.
Dude,
one
but
time
that's
or
your
something.
roots, man.
Yeah.
As
So
bad
that's
as it is, that's where you were born.
and that's what I say, like as much as, and I feel like anytime I talk to anybody about like music, like where they're at and like where they're going, as much as I'm not proud of maybe that music, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be the musician. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Like that,
for sure.
in some way affected me, obviously,
Yeah.
in my musical journey or whatever you want to call it. So I'm thankful that it happened, but I'm definitely thankful that it's not documented in the way of like, Rebecca Black, where, she's just like, I regret my life.
Yeah, because I mean, she has the same story. She's like, I just made this video because I wanted to do it for my birthday or something. Like my parents wanted to do it for my birthday. And then it turned out to be like the worst thing ever. It just, ruined her life. Like that sucks, dude.
Just really bunch of people trolling her, and like, as much as I think that's not good, I feel bad, and like I feel for her because I'm like,
I participated in it and I feel bad about it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like I did that stuff. I mean, not like I did stuff like that. Like that could have been me. And honestly, her stuff is probably better than what I did.
Yeah.
I just didn't try so hard. It's like when you try that hard, you just like stand up for scrutiny much more when you like look like you spent money. Like ours definitely looked like it was shot with someone's like, dad's camcorder. So I don't think we would have got hit up so bad. So so we did that, and then I started playing bar shows when I was like 15. My mom used to shout out to my mom. Used to drive me to these shows at these bars, and she'd sit at the bar all night, which I'm sure was just torture for her. Ha ha. Yeah, she doesn't like to drink at all. So she'd sit at the bar, and I'd play these shows just at these small town bars because I couldn't be there by myself because I was a minor, and it was always 9 to 1. And at 15 I couldn't even drive, so I did all these solo shows, and I did a lot. I played a lot. And got paid very well because there's like nobody else really doing much up that way. And as I got older, so when I was like 16, I joined a band with a couple people from the area, and we were